I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And we got car restarts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
With one race remaining before the holiday break, the Lincoln Tech Fall Series finishes off week 2 of the playoffs with race 2 of the Invets Xfinity Series round of 12 right here, right now on V-Speed. As always, we have to take a moment to thank our sponsors for helping us put this on for you tonight. Thank you to Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. To Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And Save 22, struggling? Let's talk. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lenke. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We got Lucas Lyons in the production booth and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
Well, I'm certainly happy to be here again tonight. We were back under the lights last week. We were at Las Vegas, and second race of the championship season here, Jacob. It's getting pretty exciting.
Yes, indeed. Taking a look at our standings right here, we got some very close battles toward that cut line. Jamie Libke only +1 to Kyle Deering, +3 to Frederick Seagraves. Neither Deering or Libke having a win on the season. Seagraves winning our opening race at Talladega. He's got what it takes to win, and it's going to be all to play for tonight at that cut line.
Yeah, several guys. None of these guys are safe here tonight. Peyton Howell won the race last week, and if you noticed, you don't see his name there. It's because he was new to Goat Locker Racing here a couple of races ago, so he did not qualify to make the championship playoffs. So that means everybody's kind of not out of the woods here. You know, it's a win and you're in, but nobody's actually got a win here in the playoffs. So still interesting. It's anybody's game, but a lot of guys are kind of sweating bullets right now, lower down in that point standings.
Yep, nobody's got to win, but one person has to. After missing last week, Jonathan Cofield must win this race tonight to stay alive.
Yeah, that'll be fun watching. We know he can do it. He's got a couple wins on the season. So if anybody can do it, Cofield probably can. You see there, he's got 3 wins. So kind of exciting to see what he'll do at this Texas Motor Speedway.
Yes, indeed. And let's take a look at our venue for tonight. There are 2 words that best describe our venue for tonight: no limits. The Texas Motor Speedway has featured some of the most heated competition U.S. motorsports has to offer in its 29-year history. A contentious 2017 partial repave makes this track an asymmetrical 1.5-mile quad oval with a mean streak. Our competitors will have to know when to hold, when to fold, and when to put it all on the line to move on to the round of 8.
Going to be fun to watch this race unfold here tonight. Getting ready to get to the lucky 8, I guess. Let's look at our race analysis, what these guys are going to be dealing with here at Texas. They're going to race for 100 laps with a pit road speed of 45 miles an hour. They'll all have 3 sets of tires and 2 green-white checkered attempts if we come to that, which we have a couple of times this season. They have 100% fuel, and 55 to 60 laps will be their pit window. So with a 100-lap race, that means they'll at least need to make 1 stop. But chances are caution may fly and throw that pit strategy right out the window.
Yep, I'm looking forward to seeing who comes down early for that pit stop, anticipating that caution. Hasn't worked out a terrible lot for the season so far, but 1 or 2 people have benefited from it.
Yeah, one of the things about last week, though, is the cars were very loose at Vegas. We were under the lights at that track, and the setup, all these setups are different per the track. Everybody's running the same setup every week, but we come here to Texas with a different setup. And here at Texas, the car's a little tight, so guys are going to have to be careful and really protect that right front and not push the corners too hard and getting up to the guy that's up in the high line and stuff like that. But we will see guys 2 and 3 wide probably here tonight, especially in 1 and 2.
Yep, 2, 3 wide all the way through 1 and 2. Exit's going to play out. Depending on what line you take, you carry that momentum all the way down the backstretch. It's going to turn into a one great big drag race. Speaking of racing, Ken, we had a little bit of a discussion about our picks last week. I know I made a controversial pick in picking the eventual winner in that one. I want to offer you the opportunity to make your pick first.
Well, I don't know. I like to pick the underdogs. Jonathan Cofield's kind of, you picked him last week. He got that win. Or no, not Cofield, but Peyton Howell. Cofield is one that I'd like to pick, but I'd like to see somebody new up front. Wesley Burke's pretty strong. Barrett Morton. I'm going to say Barrett Morton. That's who I'm going to pick tonight.
Barrett Morton is your pick. He is the number 9. He's definitely put himself in positions to have good finishes. Just hasn't worked out too well for him in the wins department. I go with an old tried and true favorite. A man has shown up tonight that I think everybody needs. He needs no introduction to everybody. That's going to be the 69 of Jeremy Gardner.
Uh-oh. Meatball's on the track tonight. So, the Ginger, he's pretty good at getting those meatballs. So we'll see how Jeremy Gardner does here tonight. Yeah, so he could be an ultimate spoiler where nobody gets a win here that needs one.
Yes, indeed. We are just wrapping up qualifying, and that means we get to take a look at our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner. Jam Printing and Promotions, since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And your Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner is the 77 of Mark Whitley. Should be no surprise to see him up there. Starting on his outside is the 9 of Barrett Morton. Wesley Burke in the 04 starts in row 2 inside. Joseph McWhorter starts in P4. Jonathan Cofield in the 53 in that must-win scenario starts 5th with Craig Bontrager to his outside. Jeremy Gardner in the 7th position. Judson Curtis in that 29 machine rolling off P8. Charles Abert in the 7 rolls off P9 with the 61 of Duncan Fall rounding out your starting top 10.
Kevin Calkins will start in P11 with Frederick Seagraves. Will start on the outside in a must-do-well situation for him tonight. Kyle Daring also in the hunt. He'll start P13 with Jamie Lipke also in the chase here, trying to get the last spot in. She'll start in 14th. Darren Price will start 15th. Daniel Park 16th. Devontae Drain will start in the inside in that 17th position. Dave Calvert P18. Stefan Purcell will start in the 19th position. And Samuel Joseph will be on his outside in 20th.
Colton Sisk rolls off 21st with Stephen Davis in 22nd. Claire Sisk in the 12 rolls off in P23. Armando Melgoza in 24th. Brock Price rolls off P25. Having not taken the time, Brandon Wallace is going to be 26th. 27th, Logan Sturgeon. The 00 of Alan Smith in 28th. Rob Kubat in the 38th, 29th. Chuck Feltz in the Marine Machine rolling off P30. Kevin Price in 31st, and rounding out our 32-car field will be the 44 of Gary Wright.
And the pace car is taking them on the track right now. We are just about a half a lap from going green here. Going to be kind of interesting seeing some of these stronger guys a little bit further back. Bontrager, Gardner, 6th and 7th right now. Those guys are fast. Just look at Charles Abert sitting back there in 9th that we just talked about. So a lot of good drivers here at Texas tonight. I know this is one of your favorite places to run. Texas is okay, but that 1 and 2 is just such a tight on the cars to get around that corner.
Yep, there are multiple lines you can take getting through here, taking that top line, trying to wrap the wall through 1 and 2 keeps you with high momentum onto the backstretch. But getting that inside on the entrance of 1, cashing in all that momentum puts you in an advantage position to get in front of whoever's running up top of you. You got a lot of recipes, but only one's going to lead you to success. pace car is going to pull these guys through turns 3 and 4. We are past the Texas signage, getting ready to pull down into the pit lane. Mark Whitley leading these guys, and we are rolling. Green flag in the air at Texas.
And Whitley not with the greatest start on the opener there. He's got Barrett Morton there on the outside holding strong as they go into one. Trying to take it easy on these tires, on these cold tires. Got Joseph McWhorter was going to clear out for third. Oh, the 9 is a little loose there. So Barrett Morton got loose. That allowed a couple of cars to go by. He's going to drop back probably 3 spots. He's going to end up in 5th right here before he gets settled back in.
Barrett Morton still averaging spots. He finally settles out in the 6th position. It looked like he was trying to get a lane further down to the 77 and just lost it on exit as everybody starts to shuffle out and get position here in the start of this one.
Yeah, one of those situations out there on those cold tires. These cars will tighten up, though. So after they get a couple laps on, they start getting really tight. You can see Bontrager out there just behind, running a little bit higher line on the exit, trying to get a run. Now he's under pressure. He's under threat with the car coming down on the inside, and we are under caution.
Yep, yellow is out for the first time tonight. We got the 38 of Rob Kubat slow on the backstretch, entering 3. Gary Wright coming through into the frame as well. Looks like there's some significant damage. We'll take a look at what happened.
Going 3 wide there, yeah, through that, down the backstretch. Looks like, oh, he didn't know the car above him was there. It wasn't clear, tried to move up in front and just clipped him and then sent that nose right into the wall.
Assist clapped the wall. Everybody got through it, straightened it out. From some of the other things that we've seen, I'm not sure.
Yeah, the way some of these races, I think Texas is just one of those tracks where the caution flag is a little more sensitive. Riding on board here with Gary Wright, seeing exactly what happened there. Gary's up against the wall, and that 38 just tries to come in and move up ahead of him, but just wasn't quite clear. And that also involved the 44, so the 44 was involved with that as well. So some damaged cars already here on lap 2 of this race.
Yep, everybody back through and rolling as we are lined up behind the pace car once again. 77 of Mark Whitley taking that top spot and running with it. McWhorter been shuffled out into P2. Wesley Burke in 3rd. Cofield has moved his way up to 4th.
Yeah, and my pick, it seems like maybe I've got the jinx right now with Barrett Morton. Is lost 5 spots on that start. Currently running in 7th, so had a little bit of a hard time holding on to that car, getting this thing down. But at least the lights are out on top of the pace car, it looks like. So we're about a little more than half a lap from turning this thing green flag again.
Oh, well, the lights are...
Oh, I see them
still
flashing
on.
now. Yeah, they're still on. I'm getting ahead of myself.
We're a little early into that one. I don't think we've reached that point yet. We might. That's still an opportunity. That's a knock on wood. Ken, let's take the time that the pace car's going around to talk about one of our wonderful sponsors here.
Yeah, let's talk about our title sponsor of tonight's race, Invets. Invets aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement, and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit located in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They are the title sponsor of this series, and we are proud to have them on board, Invets. Looking at Charles Abert's number 7 there in the Invets machine. Charles is currently running in 12th position, so he is down a couple spots from where he started. So he'll try to gather that thing up. It looks like him and Barrett Morton are some of the opening race losers, but we know Albert can get it done occasionally, so I'm sure he'll race his way back up there.
Yep, he put a good Q lap in, just wants to get settled in, get into a groove, and
Can I say it now, Jacob? Can I say it? The lights are out on the pace car?
Yes, you can.
Are they out? All
yes.
right. I just want to make sure.
Yep, everybody lined up side by side. We're getting ready to go through turns 1 and 2 to get ready to go back to green here. Everybody is wanting to get back to racing here after, I want to say, 2-3 laps of green running and then 2-3 laps of caution. We're going to be going right back to it when they get through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and on the backstretch, we are going to have Mark Whitley lead him to the green flag. His teammate there on the outside got those guys split up a little bit. Wesley Burke been fast, got 2 wins on the season, going to start in third. Jonathan Cofield in that must-win situation right now. We know he can do it. He usually starts out very slow, doesn't try to lead, but then by the end of this thing, he's running up front. We'll have to wait and see how these guys get it done here tonight as the pace car is about to duck onto pit lane. We're about to turn them loose.
It's off on the pace car. Everybody lined up 2 by 2, all the way back to the running order, the 30th running position. Pace car is pulling into the pit lane. Mark Whitley leading them back to green into the restart zone, and we are going back racing here at Texas.
Yeah, Whitley got a much better start this time. That's going to allow that 4 to maybe get on the inside of McWhorter. Not quite. It looks like McWhorter's got that car clear. And Wesley Burke just behind them is trying to fight off Jonathan Cofield right now. And they are 2 by 2 just behind them with Bontrager and Duncan Faw side by side.
Yep, Duncan Faw getting a good run out of turn 2, trying to keep in tow with the 53 of Cofield. Ends up tucking in between him and Bontrager right now as we are single file all the way back.
Yeah, and just behind Bontrager, we got the 9 car. We're looking at another battle here. It looks like the 50 car going side by side. It looks like Kyle Deering and Jamie Lipke.
Yep, Kyle Deering, no. Jamie Lipke, and Ooh. We are under caution. That is going to be the... Yeah, that's the 75. Chuck Feltz tore up in the infield on the front stretch there. Let's take a look at what happened.
Yeah, car gets in the outside wall there in the tri-oval and collects up a bunch of cars there. Felt's getting the worst of it, but there was several cars involved with that. 75, 68, kind of all involved in that incident. As we're taking another look there, you can see it just hit the wall there and just got on the inside. And that's what I was talking about, the cars being really tight. And so if you're exiting 4 like that and you're pushing really hard, the car wants to push up. And if you don't get out of the throttle, you end up tagging that wall. And it just sends you to the infield.
Looking at another onboard view from this one from Gary Wright as he was up and in this one, gets nailed, ends up running into the 68 of Darren Price after that initial contact is made, and it comes to rest in the front stretch, quad oval there.
Yeah, Gary Wright got a prostate exam right then, so tough break for him. Right now, just looking at our leaderboard, see how things are shaking out. Mark Whitley still leading this thing. See if anybody's going to take any going ahead to the pit lane, but I think our at least top 10 or 15 are going to want to stay out for that track position, but maybe some guys behind them will take a look at pit lane and get some fresh tires on there and maybe take a chance.
Yep, everybody choosing to stay out, apart from those that may have had damage on that one. Everybody wanting to keep on the tires, keep them cool, and just try not to wear them too much underneath this yellow period that we got.
Well, so far this race, I thought it might go green. And you know, Jacob, I've said this before, usually I get it wrong. Sometimes I say there's going to be a lot of cautions and we run green. You know, one of the great things, these drivers are actually really good. We had some green flag stops here the last couple of races. And then we get towards the end of the race and these guys start racing really hard and we start seeing more cautions. But as I've always said, these guys need to get the nerves undone here. They're all battling, well, at least 12 of them are battling for a championship here. And they got to strap in and settle down and focus on hitting your marks and not getting into each other. And I think that's probably what we'll see here in a moment.
Yep, and that's what we've seen on the first 2 the initial start and the restart that we just saw. Everybody wanting to go single file. We had minimal side-by-side up at the front because everybody knows they want to line up, they want to get into each other's groove, and then just roll out until we have to come down for fuel, because that's the only factor that's going to put any dent in this race strategy.
Well, Mark Whitley once again is going to lead us to the green flag. Joseph McWhorter on his outside. Wesley Burke sitting back there in third on the inside. Jonathan Cofield will restart this in fourth with Duncan Faw looking pretty strong out there tonight on the inside in fifth. And the 49 of Craig Bontrager will start in sixth. So it's Guys are about to turn them loose here in another lap and see what they can do.
Everybody itching to get back to this fighting for position. We were taking a look at a fight between Kyle Deering and Jamie Libke earlier, right before that yellow flew. That is a battle for the cut line in the points. Jamie Libke is +1 over Kyle Deering on the sheet coming into this race, and Kyle Deering was trying to get past them for position to make that dead even. It would go off of average finish at that point, and then we would just try to see who else was going to get involved in that one from that moment on.
Yeah, and the way the points are sitting out tonight, with nobody with a race win, Cofield's sitting in this thing, and he definitely wants to win this thing. And you know, he's a win to stay in the hunt for this thing, or he's out, and that's going to allow maybe one of those other guys sitting way back in the points to maybe grab a spot. But it's going to be hard to say. But we're about to find out. Another quarter of a lap from turn back to green. Jacob, why don't you take us away?
Yes, indeed. Pulling them back through turn 3, taking a look at all the beautiful signage on the exterior of the Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of really good detailed paint on the wall here. We're going to get a good look at some of these stars as the pace car pulls itself back down pit road. Mark Whitley once again leading the field back to green here at Texas.
Another great start that's allowing that 72 of McWhorter to fall in right behind. Then you got Wesley Burke in the 04 in that blue and purple car under a little bit of a threat there from Cofield, but Cofield will drop in line behind him. And then Duncan Faw, of course, in that 6th position. You can see him in that 61 in that red and black machine on the inside. So Duncan Faw trying to hold on to that position. Bontrager charging hard on the outside.
Oh, 9 gets caught across the nose of the 29 at Judson Curtis. I don't think he's going to take too kindly to that one as he's all the way to the inside. Seagraves is going to get a position, and Gardner's going to try and go around as well.
Yeah, I think Barrett Morton's going to be very unhappy with me after this race. I need to stop picking my winners of the race here, because Barrett's really been struggling and dealing with some things that not are all of his own making there. You can see Charles Abert back there in the 7 car just behind him, but yeah, having some struggles. But I'm looking at Jamie Lipke in the 50 of the 50 car there with Jamie Lipke is back at that same battle, Kyle Deering, that we seen earlier.
Kyle Deering is past the 16 of Jamie Libke, got in front of them, and 2 other cars have made their way in between them. That's going to be the 52 of Devontae Drain and the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. Jamie Libke is going to have to try and claw their way back as they're now under fire from Brock Price for position.
Yeah, great battle back here. You can see Jamie Lipke back there. She is under threat right now. She's got Brock Price just behind her in that 43 car. So Jamie Lipke trying to get back up, trying to make that cut.
Meanwhile, Joseph McWhorter has assumed the lead of this race from Mark Whitley. May take a look at what happened on that one, but Duncan Faw's also come all the way back up from the P5 to that P3 position. Jonathan Cofield still running in 4th.
Yeah, how about Duncan Faw really having a strong night so far, up from that 10th position. Currently running in 3rd right now. Wonder if he's really pushing those tires, maybe expecting some more cautions. That might be the strategy there, but he's got to be careful not to burn those things up. He's under threat with Cofield as he's trying to put pressure on Whitley. Going to the inside, 61 goes underneath, taking Cofield with him.
The 77 has enough room on the top side. He might just try to power past both of them, but they're going to keep right onto him. Duncan Faw is able to clear the 77, move him up to P2.
Yeah, the 61 slammed the door on that 77, and then that allowed Cofield to get a little bit of an advantage. Now, Cofield is smelling that lead up there. He's going to take a quick peek here on the inside of the 61 as they head down to 1. So here we go, another one while the tires are fresh, trying to get these passes made, and it looks like he's got the advantage at the moment. We'll see if he can get him clear on the exit.
Nothing doing on exit there. Duncan Faw is going to have the position side by side on the backstretch into turn 3. Jonathan Cofield stretches it out. Duncan Faw going to settle in P2 for the 53.
Well, I think Cofield knows that he's in a win to be in situation, and he's showing headed right now for the lead, trying to track down Joseph McWhorter, who's currently right up front.
Yep, Wesley Burke trying to look to the inside of the 61. Meanwhile, Deering is under fire from Libke once again. This is the battle for P15. Brock Price trying to look on to get a position in here as those two are fighting. Hey, these two are fighting for the cut line. I want a position in this race, so I'm going to go in there. I'm going to throw a wrench in both of their plans.
Yeah, you never know. Jamie Lipke doing it on the outside in turn 4 there. So just a power move on that 50 car for Jamie. She's going to head down and set her sights on the cars in front. Got Logan Sturgeon just ahead of her.
Little bit of a wall scrape on exit of turn 4 there. Not going to be too consequential for them right now. The 50 under fire from the 43. Everybody trying to settle out, get single file, and run through the rest of this fuel run.
You can see the 43 on the inside. Oh, I thought he was going to slip up there, get into the side of the 50 car, but keeps it down. Going to get that pass made, it looks like, as they go through the tri-oval here and cross the start-finish line.
Yep, position gain for that 43. And what I'm worried about right now is if I'm running higher than a lot of the guys in front of me to try and gain position, I'm putting more heat into those tires. I'm putting more wear onto those tires. And they're not going to help me as much as we get longer and longer and longer into this run. If we get a caution soon, that's great. That's fine. I'm going to go in. I'm going to take my tires, and we're going to all be on an even playing field coming out further on. But
Yeah, you
want to put some mind into the long run here and not just hope for that short run.
We're looking at Logan Sturgeon right now. Just got by Kevin Calkins there in the 11 car. So some passes being made a little bit further up the field. Just a shout out to Logan Sturgeon. Logan Sturgeon's up almost 10 positions on the night, over 10 positions. We got another battle here with 50.
Yep, Logan Sturgeon being our series director for the Xfinity series. The 50 at Kyle Deering also getting around the 11 at Kevin Calkins, and he might fall into the striking range of the group behind them, the 71, 92, 09. He is ripping the top, and it looks like he is losing a lot of momentum on this run. 71, it's Daniel Parks diving down to the inside of the 92. Stefan Purcell with the 09 of Stefan Davis looking.
Yeah, a really good move there. I thought he was going to slide up and hit the wall there, but does a good job holding it down. He's moving up the field. Daniel Parks having a strong, solid night so far.
Meanwhile, Jonathan Cofield is within a second or a tenth and a half of the 72 of Joseph McWhorter. We've seen these two battle it out at mile and a half before. Earlier on in this season, Jonathan Cofield has taken a win or two away from the 72 of Joseph McWhorter.
Yeah, and we've seen Cofield do this move before, sit back at the start of the race. He says he doesn't get any practice in, figures out the track while he's racing it. Currently sitting right behind our race leader, Joseph McWhorter. Needs that winner you're in situation for him. He's certainly looking like one of those guys can definitely get it done here tonight.
With the 53 getting a little bit of that toe from the leader on the backstretch, a lower line, trying to wrap it around as they both make contact with the wall. Didn't look like significant as we can't see any damage on the right front of the 53, but that's going to slow him up and get Wesley Burke about a half a second into this battle as well.
Yeah, really surprised how hard these guys are pushing tonight as we're looking at Duncan Faw right now on the inside of Whitley. Now, Whitley made that pass, so Duncan Faw is starting to slip back. I think Duncan Faw has probably worn off a little bit of rubber on those tires and starting to slip back and falling into the clutches of Bontrager and Justin Curtis, it looks like.
Yep, after dropping the lead to McWhorter, Whitley fell back to, I think, maybe P7, running further back with those guys. He makes his way around Duncan Faw, gets around everybody in that little pack there, and he's trying to track back down to a second gap to that leader on the backstretch as we see Jeremy Gardner make a move to the inside, trying to get to the inside of Craig Bontrager.
And he does. He is on the inside. He's looking really strong. I think Gardner's been saving those tires, so he definitely has got the power right now, and I think he's going to make quick work of Justin Curtis just ahead of him, too. Those tires look like they're brand new on Gardner because I think, like I said, I think he was saving those things as he's starting to reel in cars at the moment.
Yep, 26 laps on the tires for everybody in this lead group. Tracking down Judson Curtis, tracking down Duncan Faw, trying to get back up into a top 5 spot.
Yeah, almost there. It looked like Jonathan Cofield almost got into the back of our leader, McWhorter, just letting him know he's there. He's like, hey, buddy, when you screw up, I'm going to get by. Hopefully we won't connect with the wall like we did a couple laps ago here. But those guys are starting to fight hard, and you can tell this is championship season right now.
Yes, indeed, and it is make or break for that 53 of Jonathan Cofield. He's been strong all season. 3 wins earlier on in the season got him to one of the higher seeds in the playoffs. Made his case early on that he was going to be a contender for the end of it, and he has to put everything out here in order to keep going.
Speaking of other drivers, sitting back there in 4th, Mark Whitley. Mark Whitley, he's probably going to hate me for saying this, but hasn't got a single win on the season. Super strong driver, but so far the wins have avoided him. And as we're looking at another battle here, it looks at Duncan Faw and Justin Curtis down on the inside. Justin Curtis finally going to get this pass done, maybe going into 3, and he does. Gets him clear. 61 putting all kinds of front bumper on the back of Justin Curtis. But Justin Curtis, just like Jeremy Gardner, kind of held back there and is now starting to claw his way up to the front.
Yep, Curtis gets that P5 position over Duncan Faw and is running that lower line, trying to get back up to the 77 of Whitley. Whitley is almost within a second as we got another battle on track. P12 is currently contested. Devontae Drain on that outside. Jamie Libke on the inside. Logan Sturgeon giving the push of a lifetime to that 16 down the backstretch.
Yeah, I thought Logan was going to make it 3 wide there for a second, but he wisely backs out, let those 2 battle out. He's hoping that one of them will find a way around each other here. Jamie Lipke got a little bit slow on exit there. That's going to allow that car up in front to get around her, but she's going to dive it right down. They are 3 wide.
26 jumps out to the top, 52 in the middle, 16 on the inside. Everybody's going to shuffle out. 16 crosses over the 52, up in front of the 26. Everybody under a blanket as we head down into 3.
Yeah, Logan Sturgeon making that outside lane work, had a heck of a run coming up. But Jamie Lipke is not done with Devontae Drain, as those 2 are side by side once again as they cross the start-finish line. And Logan Sturgeon is just looking for a way around these 2.
Sturgeon, no stranger to success in some of these races that we've put on here. He's got at least 1 win in the Next Gen Series. He's got a truck win. He is one of the more consistent drivers that we see in and out of Goat Locker, and he is putting a showcase on tonight with some of the more recent newcomers that we've seen come in.
Well, Logan finally got those 2 to separate, and that allowed him to get to the bottom, and he's just about got Jamie Lipke clear going into 1. And we know through 1 and 2 that outside lane can be pretty powerful, but I think he's got that car clear. Should be able to shut the door on Jamie, and he does, and give that position up to Logan Sturgeon, now up to 12.
Not just yet. Lipke to the inside, making that charge with the momentum on the outside of the exit of turn 2. Rolls it down the back stretch, out through the exit of turn 4. Logan's going to have the momentum as they cross the start-finish line.
Logan's been strong on the outside in 1 and 2, but it seems like Jamie, she is just side by side with whoever she wants to be. Now she's dealing with Logan Sturgeon. It was Devontae Drain before, but they're going lap after lap, side by side. Logan Sturgeon should have the advantage and momentum here on the exit, but no, Jamie, crossover. Logan Sturgeon now going to the inside.
Logan was able to keep that power in it through 1 and 2. Lipke keeping those right side tires on the bottom seam. 1 and 2 having less banking than 3 and 4. You run those corners differently. They were able to get a much better run to get in front of the 26 and cover off, but the 26 catches it back onto the front stretch.
Looks like we're under caution. The 71 of Daniel Parks may be involved there. Have to go back and see exactly what happened there.
Ooh. Yep, 71 dog tracking a little bit as we go into this replay. See him with the 35 further back. I don't know. Dan, can you take a little bit of a, or Ken, can you take a little closer look at this? I apologize.
Yeah, no, we're looking at Daniel Parks right now. We're going into the wall. It was a little loose going through the tri-oval there, and I thought he was going to clip the wall, but he got it clear, and he's got the 35 right underneath of him, going to the outside here. Oh, he gets the wall, takes the 35 with him. So tough break for both those drivers. That was Samuel Yosef in the 35 machine that he collected. And yeah, and I think there was even a third car that got collected here. We're taking an overhead view here. You can see he almost got the wall going through the tri-oval. He's pushing that car really hard. Looking at Daniel Parks right now in front of that blue car of Samuel Yosef. Going into 1 and 2, just pushes that car up. And this is what I was talking about. These cars starting to get tight towards the end of the run. Car just gets tight here, clips the wall, and that's going to send him right into Samuel Yosef.
Yep, unfortunate that those two ended up getting into each other there.
Well, I imagine we're going to start to see pit stops here. So our leaders are looking like they're headed into pit lane. We are on lap 35, so about a third of the way through this race, everybody headed to get tires and fuel in their machines.
Yep, and unfortunately for a lot of these guys, it is not going to be enough to get to the end of this race on fuel, as we're seeing a large majority of the lead group take their cars down pit road. They're going to be about 10 laps short.
Yeah, we'll see who wins the race off pit road. Now, Jonathan Cofield, he ran himself up. He's in the 5th pit stall. So he came into pit lane in 2nd. He's going to try to beat McWhorter off pit lane here. We'll see the battle of pit road here. McWhorter is definitely going to win this battle off pit road. And it looks like Wesley Burke will follow in 2nd, though, so a strong stop by Wesley Burke there as well.
Wesley Burke 2nd, Mark Whitley P3, Jonathan Cofield rolls off P4, Duncan Faw in that 61 is going to be marked 5th.
Wow, well, that was exciting. So we did get the green flag. I thought we were going to have a green flag pit stops, but I'll tell you what, since we have a quick break here, why don't we go over one of our sponsors, Jacob? Let's talk about Lincoln Tech.
Yes, indeed.
Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supporting, accessible learning environment, transforming student lives, and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're a sponsor of many of the series here at Goat Locker Racing, and we are very proud to have them on board. Sorry about that, Jacob.
No, it's okay. I'm having some issues on my end. Lincoln Tech is the title sponsor of the IndyCar series you run on Tuesdays. Keep an eye out for that. And they're also the primary sponsor of the fall season.
Well, we're getting the field sorted out right now. Lights are out of the pace car. The wave arounds are going around. So Joseph McWhorter is going to lead us back to the green flag. He'll have Wesley Burke on the outside. So Wesley Burke making his presence known once again up at the front of this pack. Mark Whitley will start on the inside behind his teammate in that 3rd position. Jonathan Cofield has been moved back to 4th, so kind of struggled on pit lane there for Jonathan. Duncan Foss strong on the early tires, on good tires, but it seems like he falls off after a little bit. He'll start in that 5th position. Justin Curtis has been working his way up, and he is doing really well in that 29 machine, and he'll have Bontrager on the inside with Seagraves. Look at that, Seagraves in 8th position. So Seagraves is one of those drivers, won the first race of the season at Talladega, and he's currently sitting in 8th place, and he really needs a good race here tonight. I believe he's sitting like 11th in points right now. So actually he's sitting 10th in points. So he's doing what he needs to do to work his way up front.
Yes, indeed. A lot of our competitors for the playoffs still in the hunt for that cut line as the pace car comes off the track. Joseph McWhorter going to lead the field back to green here at Texas.
Yeah, heck of a start for McWhorter there. It looks like Wesley Burke had a little bit of a slow start. You can see Cofield just pushing Wesley, trying to get him going there. That's going to cost Cofield. Duncan Foss now going to take that position away from Cofield. Cofield's struggling to hang on as a 29 now. Judson Curtis is on his inside.
But the 35 is going to wrap the 53 is going to wrap the outside as the 61 has a little bit of an issue on the bottom of the corner there. 3 wide entering turn 3. Seagraves pushes it middle. Bontrager up top as they clear out.
Yeah, Duncan Faw, the biggest loser on that restart, kind of struggling there. Got Frederick Seagraves now ahead of him. Bontrager up there, solid running for these guys. Bontrager back up to where he started in that 6th position.
Yep, this might be a strategy call from the 59 camp, because 4 Wide Motorsports, Duncan Faw, Devontae Drain, Frederick Seagraves all in this race running to try and help Frederick get that position into playoffs.
Well, they're definitely doing what they need to do. As we're looking at another battle here. Oh, almost got together there.
Yep, this is the 26 of Logan Sturgeon and the 9 of Barrett Morton. Morton trapped up top. Sturgeon's going to have the advantage into 1, but 9's going to carry that momentum with the higher line, roll it all the way through the exit of turn 2, carry it down the backstretch, and if the 26 doesn't cover off, he might have a switch back.
Yeah, they're still side by side as they head into 3. The 9's got a little bit of advantage there on the outside to see if he can pull Logan Sturgeon. Barrett Morton now has got him almost cleared, but he's got a lot of traffic in front of him. He's got Duncan Fogg just ahead of him. Tried to look for a spot to go by. They're going to go almost 3 wide, but Logan Sturgeon thought better of it. 9 is going to tuck in. He's tucked in behind the 59, a little bit slow, so he had to back out of it. That's Seagraves just ahead of him.
That looks a little too close for comfort as Seagraves tucks behind the 61 of Faw. Barrett Morton pushing to the inside with the 26 behind us. These guys are trying to chase down the 77 of Whitley.
Yeah, this is a bad battle than the lead right now. So great job from these drivers. Barrett Morton now, Logan Sturgeon looking to the outside of Barrett Morton as they go into 1. We'll see if Logan can get that momentum that he's been getting off, but he's going to drop down to the bottom here. He does have a run on the 9. We'll see which way he goes, going to the low side, and that's going to pin the 9 behind the 59 of Seagraves. And once again, just nowhere for Logan to go. He's just got all kinds of traffic in front of him. Whitley is kind of the leader of that pack as the 61 is now trying to challenge him on the outside.
26 gets the bumper inside, gets the position on the 9. Advantage turning into turn 1. Duncan Faw trying to wrap his way around the 77, makes it work, gets that P6 position.
Yeah, and definitely Whitley falling back. So now Seagraves challenging on the outside of Whitley. Seagraves really looking strong out there tonight. So glad to see that. He's had a rough season other than the first win of the season, but he's going to clear Whitley. Wonder if Whitley, gets a little sideways. I think they might have touched there. And Sturgeon is now on the outside of Whitley looking for a way to get around Seagraves.
Yep, he's going to have his opportunity coming up here as the 74 or the 72 of Joseph McWhorter has Wesley Burke within a 10th and a half of that lead position. Cofield still hanging back by about less than 3/4. 4/10 of a second as we get into as we get right towards the halfway point of this race.
Yeah, let's just call it 3/4, whatever it takes to get this done. But now the battle for second, Cofield wants it, but that 04 Wesley Burke is going to challenge hard on the outside, trying to find a way by the leader. I think he wants to at least lead a lap, get himself up there, get some TV time. But don't look now because Cofield is coming.
Burke taking that toe with the line higher in turns 1 and 2, wrapping around, trying to get the momentum onto the backstretch, but the 72 covered it off. Cofield now trying to track down that second spot.
I'm looking back there at the 4th position there at Justin Curtis. I just like the way he's run. I've said this before in earlier races, just a very quiet driver. We don't talk about him a lot, but when we do, he's just sneaking his way up into these fights. And so good job for Justin Curtis, but he's got his hands full right now with Craig Bontrager just behind him.
The same can be said of the 49 of Craig Bontrager. He's had good runs, but he's just not been able to finish out on them. As we got another battle for the back end of the top 10, Mark Whitley has fallen all the way back to the 10th spot and is under fire from the 16 of Jamie Libke.
Yeah, I got to wonder what's going on with Whitley. Normally he's up front there, so I wonder if he's just decided to really save tires because it's just unusual strategy for him. I've never seen this before. Jamie Libke on the outside, but it looks like he's trying to challenge it. He isn't just giving it up. But Libke on the outside, we'll see if she can clear him coming out of turn 4 here, and it looks like she will. And Whitley will fall in behind. Now he's got another car behind him, Stephen Davis, that Mark Whitley might fall victim to. Stephen Davis now. But now we're looking at another battle. It looks like Barrett Morton.
Barrett Morton on the outside. Frederick Seagraves is trying to get around to past him as the 26 runs away in front of them, the 9 to the inside.
Yeah, Seagraves now starting to slip back again. So Barrett Morton trying to find his way back up front. Started on the outside pole. Barrett Morton, he was my pick of the night. Had some struggles here the last couple of starts. Maybe starting to find a groove in that 9 machine, and maybe he can start tracking down some of these leaders, get himself back up into the top 5, and maybe challenge for this thing.
Yep, Libke settling out into that position. They're fully in possession of the 10th spot, trying to track down Frederick Seagraves in that 59. That is another spot that Frederick Seagraves needs to hold off on the 16 to keep that points alive.
And I guarantee you those drivers definitely need to know that. It looks like we had a change of position here for second. So Jonathan Cofield does get around Wesley Burke. Matter of fact, Wesley Burke drops back a few positions here while we're away from this battle. And Wesley Burke now trying to stay in the 4th position. You can see him back there in that 04 car. But Bontrager is down on the inside. But they get together. So Bontrager gets in the rear quarter of that 04.
Oh, no!
The 04 is on the roof. And we are under caution finally after we collect up about 6 cars in that.
Massive contact for the 04 of Wesley Burke. The night of Barrett Morton involved as well, trying to get around the 49 of Craig Bontrager. Looks like they have him clear on the entrance of turn 3. Bontrager sends it in just a little too hard. Burke was coming down to cover off on the inside, and it was just a massive hit from then on. Libke involved, Seagraves. This has points implications for the end of this round.
We're right on board with Craig Bontrager here. I think this incident happened in turn 3, and we're coming down. He's got the 04 on his outside, makes that pass with all that momentum. The 4 is going to bring it down, and it just looks like it just didn't let up enough there. Wasn't probably expecting the 4 to try to carve his way down to the bottom like that.
Just a horrible, unfortunate incident on that one. It looked like they were trying to cover off too late, riding on board with Barrett Morton. They took a heavy hit, making contact with the 04 Wesley Burke. Just nowhere to go as they backed it down to the inside like they should have. And it was just a massive contact from there. Gets hit by the 7, the 12 gets involved as well. And it is just carnage on the exit of turn 4.
Well, all the leaders headed to pit lane right now, so we're at the halfway point of the race, so these guys know it. They're going to get tires and fuel in this car, hoping that this thing goes green the rest of the way so they get their final stop in. It looks like the 77 of Mark Whitley is going to beat everybody off pit lane. So that's a big surprise there. Whitley was way back. I almost feel like he took 2 tires.
Yep. Kevin Price is showing his stint to be 16 laps as of right now. They're going to be inheriting that first place position. They're going to be credited with leading a lap under caution, but Jonathan Cofield is the first car on fresh tires, and that is going to be a big benefit to him over Mark Whitley on this restart.
Yeah, seeing Mark Whitley drop back like that on that run was very unusual. So I wonder how much tire he was trying to save there. So I didn't catch the fact that Cofield got off pit lane first, but good job on him, and he's going to lead for the second time tonight, maybe first time tonight. So he's doing what he needs to get that win and in situation taken care of. So at the halfway point of this race.
Yes, indeed. Everybody's cycling back out from that pit stops. Pace car is going to shut its lights off here, and we are going to go back to 2x2. Price electing to take the inside here, which leaves an open lane for Jonathan Cofield up top.
I'm just looking at the standings here, Jacob. Really tough break for Wesley Burke. 2 laps down, still on pit lane. So one of those drivers in the hunt for this championship, really having some struggles here after that accident. So looking down a little bit further on the field, it looks like Wesley Burke is now leaving pit lane. So he's going to start 2 laps down on the field, trying to get some of these laps back and stay in the hunt for this championship.
Playoff drivers involved in that incident numbered at Barrett Morton, Jamie Libke, Frederick Seagraves, all of them having some damage from that incident right there. That is going to have some major implications on the cut line. And with George Jewell out, that opens up a relief spot for someone else to make their way in. Pace car entering turn 3.
Yeah, and you can see right now you got that 60 car on those older tires that you mentioned, 16 lap older tires. These leaders are going to try to make short work of them, and they know it, so they got to be careful getting around them. Pace car is going to head on to pit lane. We'll see if Price can hang on to the rear tires when he accelerates here, as we're about to send him into the restart zone and the green flag here momentarily. And we are green, so Kevin Price gets a nice run out on the start there. He's going to take Whitley with him to the inside. Cofield's going to drop back and allow McWhorter on the inside.
That is a worst case scenario start for Jonathan Cofield. I thought the 80 was going to back it off a little bit. It looked like he might have gone a little early from my perspective, but it looks like everything's kosher for now, as Whitley battling the 72 of McWhorter for the lead. As we just passed halfway, Craig Bontrager cycles out into third. The two leaders collide. 72 gets a nose in front, trying to get past on the front straightaway.
Yeah, and McWhorter's going to take it down to the bottom. We know these guys are teammates, and we know they race each other really hard. They keep doing that. Bontrager now on the inside on the exit of 2 here. Bontrager's got to run. Remember, Whitley, he took just 2 tires, so he might be suffering quite a bit here. He's going to take Justin Curtis maybe take a peek there as they go into 4.
Yep, Bontrager, one of those other drivers that we know needs to win this season because he's been in position before, having issues like his own or other people involving him in their own issues, and he has been denied wins earlier on.
I was just watching Kevin Price here. He's going straight to the back on those 16 old lap tires. He's dropped back all the way to 15th position and still going backwards.
Stephen Davis in that 09 car battling back from the restart on that one. Jonathan Cofield getting boxed in up top as Devontae Drain makes contact with the wall exiting turn 4. That leaves the lane open for Davis on the inside as they get up towards the back end of the 59 of Seagraves.
Yeah, and Jeremy Gardner in the hunt there. They're 2 by Barrett Morton on the inside trying to get by Logan Sturgeon. Just behind Jeremy Gardner there, and it looks like the 9 will get that car clear for now, but Logan Sturgeon's been really strong, pushing that car really hard, and he'll back off, fall single file for now.
There was a checkup from the 53, which sent Devontae Drain hurtling backwards. Brock Price and Jamie Lipke now trying to get around that car as well.
Yeah, it looked like Jamie Lipke got a little hurt from that, speed-wise anyway. She's on the outside of the 43. And probably have the momentum coming off the corner here, and she does. So she's got to run down the backstretch, and side by side right now with I can't even see whose car that is.
That's the 43 of Brock Price and the 53 Jonathan Cofield up front in front of them now. The 50 of Kyle Deering now trying to track down the 16 again tonight.
I'm surprised how much yo-yoing we got going on here. They're going to go 3 wide here. Jamie Lipke to the outside. And the 43 down on the inside kind of split that car like a sandwich there. And Jamie Lipke still on the outside trying to get that position away from the 43 of Brock Price. And can't quite get it done. They're still side by side.
Meanwhile, we got another battle for the lead up front. Craig Bontrager has tracked down the back end of the 72 of Joseph McWhorter. Judson Curtis looking onto this battle, but the 49 is trying to get to the lead for the first time tonight.
Yeah, 49 doing a heck of a job here tonight. He's been my pick a couple of races. Hasn't been able to pull through, but I guess because I didn't pick him tonight, he's doing really well. So good job for Bontrager, but don't look now. Justin Curtis running in that 3rd position. Awfully quiet driver back there, so I don't want to count him out of this shuffle yet, but definitely Bontrager's putting pressure on our leader.
P2, P3, P4, P5, all hungry for wins here tonight. A lot of these guys are competing for the fourth spot in the round of 8 going on as we see the 69 of Jeremy Gardner get around the 09 of Stephen Davis onto the backstretch going into turn 3, trying to track down that 59 of Frederick Seagraves once again.
Yeah, something is wrong with our race leader. Well, at the start, our race leader, Jonathan Cofield, he just, after that pit stop came out in 4th position, is just going straight back right now. I don't know what's wrong with that car, but currently running in the 15th position. He was a must-win situation, but whatever's happened to Cofield, it is not getting better. He's losing positions even to lap cars.
I'm thinking he's trying to save a little more than he probably needs to here, but it's putting him in a position where he's going to have to make up a lot of ground and pass a lot of cars to get back up there.
he's definitely going to need a hat trick. We're looking at Jeremy Gardner right now. That 69 car doing a solid job here tonight. We'll see if he can do. He could be one of those spoilers, but so far he hasn't found his way up to the top 5 yet. But, not counting him out ever. Oh, he's in the top 5 now. This is his first time in the top 5 tonight.
Yes, indeed. Frederick Seagraves fallen back a little bit from a good restart, trying to keep himself in front of Stephen Davis. Barrett Morton back up there after that heavy hit on the contact with the 0-4. And everybody is trying to shuffle in, get their position, and run to the end of this one.
Yeah, Seagraves really pushing that 59 really hard on that earlier corner there. Had it down on the apron, got loose, but now Stephen Davis now on his inside in that blue or purple number 9 car. Down on the inside as they go into 3. Barrett Morton just behind them looking for a hole. See which one wins this battle off at the exit of 4. Headed into the tri-oval. It looks like the car on the outside will have the advantage. So Seagraves will currently hold on to that at least for another corner or so.
Yep, didn't get loose on exit. 59 carries the momentum into turns 1 and 2. Going to have to deal a little bit with the car on the inside on exit. Makes a good exit and is able to get the nose out in front through the backstretch.
Yeah, you couldn't put a piece of paper between those two guys on that last corner there. Number 9, Barrett Morton had a little bit of a threat now. Barrett Morton coming up strong on the back of that 9 car of 0, or that 09 of Stephen Davis. Look into the outside as they go into 1 and 2 here. Looks like he found that hole. Barrett needs to run himself back up. Like I said before, he started in that 2nd spot, so hasn't had the night he was probably hoping for after that start, but climbing his way back up, hopefully.
Pulled it back into P8, had a huge run through the quad oval, and now trying to track down P6 of Seagraves.
Right now, still side by side, Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis started in 20s. Oh, they get together. So no harm, no foul there, but that was a close call. Stephen Davis gets into the door of Barrett Morton. Almost another ugly moment for that 9 car. And it looks like right now that 09 has got the advantage going out of 2 here. We'll see if Morton can get an advantage, but the car just ahead of them hits the wall. That was Seagraves. So that's going to back Seagraves up into this battle. As that 9 still side by side, Stephen Davis and Barrett Morton hammering it out right now.
Stephen Davis needs to get to the front of this field if he has any shot of moving on. A lot of the other drivers have taken their fast repairs after being involved in that wreck. If they get involved in another wreck, he should be good enough to push his way up front. He's got enough leeway to where if somebody wrecks out, he can possibly pull it back up into that top 8 position.
Well, he's definitely doing what he needs to do, and I can tell you that 59 is running the wheels off that car. So if he can just be patient and not hit the wall like he just did, he should be able to run on that 59 car, because I think Seagraves is really trying to run the tires off that thing and stay ahead of these guys. And if they can just be patient, that Seagraves might come back to him. And it looks like that battle is heating up as I mentioned it.
Oh, Devontae Drain gets loose on the exit of turn 2, makes contact with Jamie Libke, pushes them further down the track on the backstretch. That might bring Kyle Deering back into this one.
Yeah, those guys need to get a room because they've been next to each other all night long, just battling it out here. They're heading down to the tri-oval. Jamie Lipke's got the advantage right now. Got ahead of that battle, but a lot of close calls out here as we're looking at another battle. We're back to the 09. So the 09 does get around Seagraves. So moves Stephen Davis up another position. This is what I thought. Seagraves really driving that car hard. All over the back of that 9 car, pushing him down the backstretch.
Stephen Davis, P6. Frederick Seagraves running for P7. Barrett Morton clawing his way back up through the top 10, trying to track down another position from Seagraves as they make their way through the quad oval with 30 to go.
Yeah, it looks like Barrett Morton's going to be down on the inside here. Going to try to take this position away as I think the tires are failing on Seagraves' machine.
Judson Curtis making a move to the inside. Craig Bontrager for that 2nd spot. Battling between these two is not what they want to see right now, as McWhorter is starting to step away to the tune of 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, McWhorter's just loving seeing that in his rearview mirror right now, seeing these two guys battle. And I got to tell you, though, Judson Curtis, I feel like he's saving tires. So if he can get around Bontrager here, I think he can get in his groove and maybe has a chance to run down McWhorter. But we know how strong McWhorter is each and every race.
Meanwhile, we know how strong Bontrager is when it comes to holding position. Keeps it in front through the backstretch, having that good exit off of turn 2. Rolls the bottom in turn 3 and keeps the groove exiting into the quad oval.
Yeah, I feel like this is just Justin Curtis is just sticking himself there, not trying to heat up his tires. Still quite a bit of racing to go. We got 28 laps to go. Doesn't want to push the issue, doesn't want to rub the rubber off his tires trying to get around Bontrager. He knows that Bontrager's probably driving the car a little harder than he wants to, and he'll get by him eventually if he keeps up this tactic.
These guys wanting to keep their positions in the standings right now. Back to the 50 of Kyle Deering with the 52. Devontae Drain for the 11th position. Kyle Deering on the back bumper of Drain as he has fallen out of that battle. Drain has gotten some more contact with the wall there. That's gonna hinder his entrance into turn 1, like back his speed down in the quad oval as he dives down, like the 50 dive down to the inside of Drain. It has to back out of it so they don't make contact, and that kills all of his momentum moving up to the front.
Those guys were really stuffing it into turn 1. I was kind of really surprised. I was going to mention that, watching how hard they were driving it into turn 1, and I think that's why you're seeing them come off and clipping the wall occasionally. Is just it got so much heat in that right front. It just won't stick, and the harder they drive these cars, that's what'll happen here. Is the 50 is going to make another attempt there on the inside, just driving these cars super hard tonight.
Yep, rolling the inside like that is only going to benefit you if you're side by side, because what's going to happen is Drain's going to get that run on the backstretch, stretch it out by about a half a car length. Deering's going to send it back down to the inside, try to get to the inside of out of the 52, and nothing doing. He's going to roll the bottom of the corner. Drain clips the wall, and that's exactly what Deering needed to get around him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. When you're pushing that hard, it's very easy to do on these exits. So give Deering that position. Now, Deering can set his sights on Jamie Lipke, but I don't know. Jamie Lipke's been running pretty strong back there. So we're looking at another battle here. We got Davis and Logan Sturgeon there. So the 9 car back in this battle coming up through the field. Going to pass Logan Sturgeon maybe here as they go through the tri-oval. Logan Sturgeon a little bit on the outside wall there. Now Barrett Morton's going to take advantage of that, come to the inside and take that position away from Logan.
26 makes wall contact. Stephen Davis putting together a monumental run to keep himself alive in the playoffs with that 5th spot. Barrett Morton trying to get that position for himself. Major contact earlier, having come back from that, trying to get himself into a points paying position to keep himself well steady in that top 8.
Yeah, all he really needs is a good, solid finish tonight, and he's gonna get a championship slot for the round of 8. And boy, the way his race started tonight, he was probably thinking, "Oh, I don't know if I could get this done." That car went sideways in the opening lap of this race, but he's raced himself back up to the 6th position. Now is looking at the back of Stephen Davis as we're moved up to Craig Bontrager now. Jeremy Gardner, all over the back of Bontrager. Bontrager is starting to slip back. This is exactly what I was talking about. Bontrager getting those tires warmed up and hot, and now he's starting to lose positions to Gardner. He lost that position to Justin Curtis. Justin Curtis now just ahead of them, running in 2nd, trying to chase down McWhorter. Oh, Jeremy Gardner wide there. They almost get together with Bontrager. Keeps it clear as they go down the backstretch.
Yep, Bontrager keeping it side by side. Gardner to the inside makes it clear on the exit and the entrance of 3. Bontrager's going to have a chance with a rebuttal on the exit of turn 4. Ends up slotting back in behind the 69 car. That gap is going to spread out. P3 for Jeremy Gardner. He's going to chase down Judson Curtis.
Yeah, talk about a spoiler. Mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. Jeremy Gardner, he is not fighting for a championship this season, so he's missed quite a few races. He's out here just racing for wins, so he could be one of those spoilers, not making sure that nobody can guarantee their way in. Although if McWhorter has the night he continues to have, no matter what, if he finishes it probably in the top 10, top 20, is still going to make the playoffs here. So Gardner out there trying to get that win and take something away from these guys in the playoffs.
20 laps to go as we are side by side. Devontae Drain makes contact with the wall and exit at turn 4 again. I don't know how many times we're going to be able to say that. Charles Aber to the inside now trying to get that position for the 13th spot, and Mark Whitley is just ahead of these two.
Yeah, Devontae's going to slip back. Charles Aber gets that position away, so Charles Aber started in the 9th position, is back in the 14th position, so I think he was involved in one of those earlier incidents trying to claw his way back to at least his starting position.
Yep, Charles Abert trying to get back up into that top 10. He's got Mark Whitley ahead of him, which is going to be a tough sell in terms of trying to get that position from him. This is an uncharacteristic run from the 77. He had issues on the last run, fell back a little bit. He was able to make his way back up to the lead group, but now he's found himself situated in 12th as Kyle Deering has dropped the spot to the 43 of Brock Price.
Yeah, Brock Price moving his way up. Brock Price started in the 25th position, so up 15 spots on the night. So Brock having a solid run here tonight. I don't believe he's in the chase, though. He didn't quite make the chase. Currently 14th in points, but he's still out there doing what it needs to take. He's got Jamie Lipke just ahead of him there. Jamie Lipke now looking at the inside of Seagraves. So Seagraves starting to slip back. We've seen Seagraves do this before, really hard on his tires, and he's paying the price right now as Jamie Lipke is going to take that position away from him.
Yep, up there in that top 10, fighting to keep that position tooth and nail, and he is under fire from the back runners of the top 10, looking for the back bumper of the 59 machine. Brock Price to the inside, Kyle Deering right behind him, probably going to try and take the move on the exit of turn 2 here. Seagraves going to have the momentum pull away a little bit, but they're going to make another move in the turn.
Yeah, a couple cars not in the chase just behind these two. Jamie Lipke and Seagraves both trying to get the last spots in this championship, the final 8 here. And they got a couple of cars that are really hungry behind them. So you got the 43 of Brock Price and Kyle Deering in the 50 who's now caught back up. Basically due to the slowness that we're seeing from Seagraves. Like I said, I think those tires are gone on that car. That's allowed these cars to bunch up a little bit.
And the 50 of Kyle Deering now trying to make a move on the 43 of Brock Price. Maybe get a 2-for-1 into the entrance of turn 3. Dives it, rolls the bottom. 43 rolling the top, keeping his left side tires on that top seam, pulls down a little bit, doesn't make contact on the exit of turn 4, keeps it to the outside, but Deering is going to walk away with that position.
Yeah, Deering gets that position now. He's got his sights set on Seagraves there. So Seagraves doing everything he can to try to hold on to points right now. Doesn't want to see more points given up right now. Like I said, he is in danger of falling out of this thing as he slips back through the field. Still having a pretty solid night, up 3 spots. He's probably hoping for a caution at this point as we got, looks like about 14 laps to go.
Yep, Seagraves and Deering trying to both track down Jamie Lipke because that's who they're fighting on the cut line. Those 3 running a 8th, 9th, and 10th right now. Solid drive for all of these guys. And now Wesley Burke running with the 77 of Mark Whitley to push them back up the track. It is go time.
It's so surprising seeing that 77 as far back as he is. The 04 Wesley Burke, though. Wesley Burke's a couple laps down. He needed a caution after that incident that he had that kind of took him out. Still running a couple laps down. He would have needed a couple cautions and need those lucky dogs. And it just, what a tough break for Wesley.
Yep, Wesley Burke hurt by having to tow in that incident, but it looks like they were pushing their fellow competitor to the promised land. Mark Whitley is on an absolute tear right now. He is running 31.9s compared to the car in front of him that he just passed, 32.1. Frederick Seagraves having been passed up for that 9th position as Whitley is cemented back in the top 10.
Yeah, being that he only took 2 tires on that last stop, I think you were right. He just backed that car way up and decided he was really going to have to save tires. And looks like he was the smart one to get that done. But Whitley winless on the season so far.
Yep, Whitley winless on the season. It looks like without a caution, that is not going to change as Kyle Deering still under fire at the back end of the top 10. Brock Price and now Charles Abert now fighting for positions to get around that 50.
Yeah, Charles Abert looking to make up another position here. Doesn't quite have it. Looks like Abert got a little loose in the trial there. We'll stick it down into 1, but we know that outside lane is pretty strong on the exit here with the momentum, so the 50 might have a little bit of advantage, but we'll see if Charles Abert can get him going into 3.
Charles Abert sends it to the inside. Deering pushes to the inside, not able to clear off on the 7. 10 laps to go as we get to the line. Joseph McWhorter still a second out in front.
This battle just isn't letting up. Charles Abert desperately wants this. Going to go into one. We've seen Abert send it in here before. It looks like Deering's going to take a little bit lower line, but that outside advantage. But they got a couple cars just ahead of them. They're going to factor in. They are running the 2 cars down ahead of them. Charles Abert way down on the inside. Deering to the inside.
Deering to the inside of the 43 of Brock Price. Price having backed off from the fight with the 59 of Frederick Seagraves for that final top 10 spot. Kyle Deering now trying to cover off on the front quad oval as they move their way into the entrance of turn 1.
Deering still on the inside. No car with an advantage at the moment. Brock, well, as I said that 50 clears, but I think Price is going to try to do the undercut here down the backstretch, and he does. So the 43 going to take the underside here, see if they can get the advantage going in 3. And yeah, going to take it down, pushes up a little wide there. That's going to allow the 50 to get a little bit of momentum off the exit of this corner. They're going to go side by side through the tri-oval.
50 to the outside, keeping that momentum going. Makes a little bit of contact to push the wall. 43 gets by on the inside, clears, but I don't think he's going to be able to cover him off on exit. Jonathan Cofield now in this battle.
Yeah, Cofield with a disaster at the restart here, trying to run his way back up. He needed a win or you're in, and right now I don't think Cofield is going to make the cut tonight. A lot of guys are probably chomping at the bit because that's going to allow one of these guys to slip into that chase if Cofield can't do what he's doing. But you know, never know. We still got a few laps to go. That caution could come out and change everything.
Yep, fingers are crossed. Knocking on wood that everything goes to plan here as Joseph McWhorter still 1.2 seconds ahead of this group. Jonathan Cofield not getting it done as he needs to right now as we got another battle on the track for 4th.
Well, it's my pick. Barrett Morton catching up to Bontrager here. Barrett Morton with that lap 1 getting sideways, sent him towards the back. Oh, they almost get together there going into 1. Barrett Morton down on the inside of Bontrager. Bontrager, I think those tires are a little worn now at this point. At 9, they're going to go side by side down the backstretch, and I think when they get into turn 3 here, yeah, the 9's got them cleared. Cut in front of them and take that low lane.
P4 for Barrett Morton. These two have made contact in the past. Those two trying as hard as they can to keep points together to keep themselves in the top 8. Stephen Davis in P6 right behind them, still doing what he needs to do to keep ahead of the drivers in the chase on that cut line.
Yeah, kind of surprised with some of the struggles I've seen here and how quick the positions will change from lap to lap here. Bontrager now, as you can see here, under threat from the 9 car of Stephen Davis. Going to take a peek down on the inside going into 3, and they'll go side by side. But I think Bontrager, just like Seagraves, I think those tires are kind of shot on that 49 car, and he's just slipping backwards.
Yep, you would think he was going to slide up or slide down and try and cover him off on exit, but nothing doing. Bontrager still putting some heavy work on the back bumper. The 09 there as Jonathan Cofield makes his way to the inside, almost makes contact with Frederick Seagraves for the 10th spot, exiting into turn 1.
Yeah, Seagraves there on the outside, got Deering just behind him in the 50 car, so you know, Seagraves is doing what he has to do. He needs a good finish here tonight to get into that top 8. You know, he's run that car really hard tonight. Logan Sturgeon just ahead of him. Logan Sturgeon putting some pressure on, I wanted to say that was Mark Whitley, but I think there's a bit more of a gap there.
Yep, Logan Sturgeon in the 9th position is being fought for by Jonathan Cofield. Frederick Seagraves is going to try and look for the final top 10 spot as Logan Sturgeon is falling back. A lot of the give having been given out of those tires for that 26 car.
Well, we are 2 to go. McWhorter's still leading this thing. He's about at 1.7 seconds ahead of Justin Curtis. Justin Curtis having a strong night, but we're about a lap and a half away from concluding this thing. So, you know, for some of our guys that want to get in this chase, they need that caution before the leader crosses the line next, because that'll make it an official race.
Yep, we need a caution right now for a lot of the guys on the cut line, but the guys that are in, keep it green. Do not throw that caution by any means, and we will run this one out like we knew we could. White flag in the air. McWhorter takes it across the start-finish line into 1.
McWhorter had a strong season all seasons, got 2 wins on the season, going through 2 and 3 here. No real pressure as Justin Curtis has slipped back even further, almost a 2-second gap here. McWhorter has got himself up front, pretty much led the second half of this race, and I think it's pretty clear he's going to take this thing to victory lane.
Joseph McWhorter gets back to his winning ways, breaking Peyton Howell's win streak and the win at Texas.
Well, he gets it done. He solidifies. We knew he was going to be in the championship 8. So I don't know. It shouldn't be any surprise there. But, yeah, great job. Great racer for him. Another good run. A second-place finisher, Justin Curtis there, giving him a little love tap there. Justin Curtis, what a strong race by him tonight. And then to round out the podium, Jeremy Gardner does it here tonight. Tried to spoil it. Didn't quite get there. But congrats to our race winner, that 72, Joseph McWhorter.
Yes, indeed. And it is a welcome one because he has been the bridesmaid for so many weeks going on. Not the bride recently, but he has put it to rest here at Texas and moved on to the round of 8. When we come back, we're going to have your unofficial results, and then we're going to get an interview with our top 3 podium finishers. We watch Joseph McWhorter burn it down at Texas.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
are back live at Texas Motor Speedway with an exciting race finish here tonight. Joseph McWhorter gets it done, gets that first place finish there, will win this race here tonight. Justin Curtis with a strong performance will finish in second. Jeremy Gardner rounds out your podium finishers, which we'll have interviews here shortly. Barrett Morton finishes P4, Stephen Davis P5. Craig Bontrager will finish in that sixth position. Jamie Lipke 7th, Mark Whitley 8th, Jonathan Cofield 9th, and Logan Sturgeon wraps out your top 10.
11th is going to be Charles Abert, Kyle Deering in the 50 P12, Frederick Seagraves in 13th, Brock Price in the 43 14th, Dave Calbert in 15th, Gary Wright with a strong finish from the back of the field finishing 16th, Stephen Purcell in 17th, Daniel Parks in 18th, Duncan Faw with a strong run today ends up finishing out P19, and Claire Sisk rounds out your top 20.
Devontae Drain lost the battle with the wall tonight, finishes 21st. And then we start with cars that are laps down. Kevin Price, 2 laps down, will finish P22. Wesley Burke, tough break for him, finishing 23rd. Armando Melgosa will finish in the 24th position. Colton Sisk, 25th. Brandon Wallace, 26th. Kevin Calkins will finish 27th. Rob Kubat will finish 28th. Darren Price, 29th. Sammy Yosef, 30th. Chuck Feltz, 31st. And Alan Smith did not grid up tonight. So that concludes your 32 car field.
Yes, indeed. And the one that finished at the point is someone we have talked to quite a few times this season. Joseph McWhorter is Jake Lenke in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
We watched you guys put that game plan together from the end of that last caution run. You and Whitley running side by side. Take us through the rest of that green flag run.
Some guys decided to not take tires, and I thought with going 20, 30 laps on the time per caution, we seemed to be getting there. I figured taking tires was kind of the smart idea. I wasn't really expecting it to go green the whole time, so I was real anxious. I was like, please get me inside 15 to go before we have another yellow, because that's all I wanted. I was like, that way the extra set of tires for the guys that saved them, it doesn't matter. And as soon as we got inside 10 to go, I was like, please get me to 5 to go. And then we finally got down to the white flag, and I finally just took a sigh of relief. I'm like, thank you. I'm so glad that I don't have to worry about having a caution late in the race. So yeah, just hit marks, and I'm really surprised. I hate this racetrack, so I'm always surprised whenever I do well here. Just the setup, I actually like the setup tonight, which is something that you don't normally hear me say about fix setup racing. So, yeah, good win. Ready to get into that next round and hopefully get another win in round 2 and lock ourselves into the final 4.
Once again, leading the most laps on the night, putting the work in, getting the result that you needed. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium?
Yeah, first and foremost, I need to thank all of the league sponsors, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Invets, all of the guys that put this together. Outlier Speed Co. Go check them out in the linked or in the description below at outlierspeedco.com. They're not only a partner of me, but also you guys over at V-Speed, like sharing an amazing partner like Outlier. It's really cool. Red Camel Racing, go check them out at redcamelracing.com. Anything you guys need for a race weekend, fire suit, shoes, helmet, you name it, they got it. 29 Graphics on Trading Paints. All the drivers for a great race tonight. The admins for the hard work, and yeah, what a way to kick off my my 30s. I had my birthday yesterday, and first day of being 30 years old, and we get a win. So hopefully that's good things to come.
All right, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday to you. Congrats on the win tonight. Good run. We'll see you next week for the round of 8.
Yep, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That was Joseph McWhorter with the winner. And who are you going to be talking to next, Ken?
Well, I'm going to head down to pit lane here. I'm going to talk to Justin Curtis. Justin Curtis, Ken Huber in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, but it sounds like you're doing even better with that second place finish. I believe this is the first time you've been up in the booth talking to us this season.
Yes, sir. I believe so. We got the Lone Star beer pouring, so we are definitely doing pretty good now.
Well, you had an awesome race. I've seen you do this before. You're a pretty solid driver. I think you missed some races, so you obviously weren't in the cut for the playoffs, but you certainly served as a spoiler tonight, almost battling for the win there. So what got you here tonight?
I think just the lack of experience. I kind of knew when I settled in behind Joseph there that I probably didn't have the car, and I tried to get up on him, and I may have gained a tenth or two, but quickly realized I probably didn't have nothing for him. So that's when I kind of just took out the pen and pad and tried to start taking some notes on the future races here and see what we could do to put it one spot better.
Well, it looks like you did that indeed, and it was a lot of fun watching here tonight. Who do you have to thank to get you the second place finish tonight?
Lone Star Beer, Hart Motorsports, Kenny over there, Texas Cigar Rollers, Driveway Matinee, AMR Paintworks, and Louisiana Hot Sauce. All those great people, great supporters.
Well, that was Justin Curtis, so we'll look forward to see what he can do out here next week.
All right, and third most, I think this is an interview that I've been waiting for a long time. Jeremy Gardner, this is Jacob Lenke up in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
You had a fast car all night. You were running up in the top 10 for a majority of the night. We saw you fall back. I want to say maybe the lowest you ran was 11th. Take us through the first run of your first run of your race tonight.
Just pretty much just cruising, trying to see if I can manage tires tonight. I don't know. Texas has been one of my best tracks, hoping for not a green flag pit stop because God knows I screw up pit road really bad here. But I don't know. I had fun. Texas is a really, really good track for me. But just, I came from the back to the front. I had a pit. I had damage. I smacked the wall out of 4. But I don't know. Decent comeback, I guess.
Yep, putting yourself P3 on the podium for all to see. Who do you have to thank for putting you up there?
Pat and Jamie, GLR. Of course, y'all guys up at V-Speed booth, iRace and MK Fire Design, Sim Motion, Invets for putting on the series, my guys, Premier Race and setups.
Yes, sir. Another solid P3 for you. Thank you for your time. We'll see you later.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jacob, I think you've been scanning over the point standings, so we've had some changes. So who's going to make our final 8 going into a race, Michigan, a couple weeks from now?
Yes, indeed, I have, and the numbers are in. Joseph McWhorter locks himself in with that win. Mark Whitley finishing in the second spot on points. Craig Bontrager behind him in third, tied with Barrett Morton. Jamie Limke fifth in points with 1069. Wesley Burke gets up there as well with enough of a cushion after that massive hit they took today, and not the finish that they wanted. Duncan Faw and Kyle Deering tied on points, and they are both in to the round of 8.
Wow, and Seagraves just barely missed it. So tough break for Seagraves. So wow, what a change. So looking forward to a couple weeks from now, we're going to be at Michigan, and I think at the top of the broadcast or pre-race we were talking about that, one of your favorite tracks.
Yes, indeed. Michigan International Speedway. It's my home track. It's my favorite track. I am going to be over the moon when we get here 2 weeks from now.
Well, we had an awesome race here tonight. And like always, I don't know what to say. This has been a great season. We had a couple of early incidents in this race. We had some early cautions, but it ended up a lot of green flag racing. So a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, indeed. A lot of good battles in the mid and back of the pack. We saw a really good points battle between Deering, Libke, and the guys toward the back of the top 10 for that cut line. Awesome stuff.
Well, I think that about ends it for the Invets Xfinity Series here tonight. I'm Ken Huber. And Jacob Linke is out there somewhere. And Lucas Lyons is filled in for Eddie Smith on production. Did a great job here, Lucas. And then, of course, our cameras were provided by Dougie Beard. And I want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your families this week. We're off for, like I said, 2 weeks. Looking forward to being back here at Michigan and calling another race with you, Jacob.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for your time. We'll see you.